So, Alex, best season of Star Trek ever?
Best season of Star Trek ever. In fact, I'm going to rate this season as a whole an S.
S tier season.
S tier season. Yeah, possibly the best season of Star Trek ever. Just nailed it on every cylinder. I mean, a few low ends for sure, but in terms of variety, quality, uh, quantity, direction, writing, moments, performances, just every week just felt something different was going on that made it so unique. And our characters are so well grown into now, where we can have so many just great earned moments that just feel so. That we're along with the team. We're along with the crew. We feel like one of them. We talk about it all the time about how we just wish we were on Enterprise, just witnessing these moments. And that's how it feels being 6 seasons into a show. I can't remember the last time I was 6 seasons into anything. I mean, we only had 3 seasons of TOS. Well, I'm in season 6 of The Sopranos, but it doesn't count. It doesn't count. I'm not as deeply invested in this, and every day after we finish an episode, I just get a little bit sadder and sadder because you just know the end of that plank is just getting closer and closer.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that we have now watched over 150 episodes of The Next Generation is crazy.
Oh wow, I didn't even think about that.
26 left. And, I just looked at my list. We're doing a top 10 later, but I ranked the whole season. And I was looking at it, and there are, of the 26 episodes of the season, 4 that I'm like, okay, I don't really care for this one. And then of those, there's really one episode that I think is a bad episode. There is one bad episode this season. I think we both know what that is.
I have an idea.
But even the other 3 that are like, not really for me, they're fine episodes. So it's like, I love the entire season for the most part. And that's crazy. Like, coming from us who, we were back in like season 3 and stuff, like celebrating getting 3-4 good episodes in a row. I mean, we're expecting there to be speed bumps, expecting episodes to not be for us. And like this season just delivered over and over and over again, and also delivered some of my favorite episodes of the whole franchise thus far. So yeah, I loved every minute of it.
I love every minute. And what's even better about that, for me, it was completely unexpected. I've heard people talk about seasons 4 or 5 being the absolute peak. I had no expectations for season 6. I don't think I saw any discourse about it at all. So when I saw the episodes I did, I couldn't believe it, because I thought after, I don't know, Inner Light, I thought, okay, that's the big one. That's it. Okay, and now we're in our tapering off years. I thought that's what was happening. I'm glad I was completely wrong, because holy shit, I mean, some of the best episodes of Trek ever, more than one, are in this season.
Yeah, and there were even some YouTube comments I vividly remember on either Relics or Chain of Command, and basically along the lines of like, okay, this is the peak, or like this is, from this point on, it all just goes downhill. And to me, I'm like, are you crazy? I mean, I think the second half of this season, basically from Aquiel on, after Aquiel, the whole second half of the season is better than the first half. Like, it's insanely good, and it just got better and better and better, up to the point where there were episodes that were in the last few episodes of the season that I thought were incredible S tier perfect episodes. So I just don't, look, at the end of the day, everyone has different preferences, but like, coming off of season 5 of TNG, there was good stuff in season 5, and some really, really, really great ones, Iborg, for example, and others. But, coming off of it, because of Star Trek 6 and because of just like a lot of the middling stuff we got in season 5 and kind of the slump of it, I started to lose a little bit of the luster for TNG. It started to lose a little bit of like, okay, maybe we are getting to that, that period where we're going to still have great ones now and then. Mm-hmm. The Inner Light, like I was so hyped up for that episode, unfortunately, just because I knew about it even before I was starting Star Trek, and finally seeing it and liking the episode, but it not being my favorite. Yeah. It's just kind of like, okay, like I guess we're at that point of the show. So I was on the same page as you. Is this season just blowing me away and being so much fun, and just like, what I want the show to be is season 6, like character episodes, learning more, both background and lore, as well as developments moving forward. of our characters. You know, them kind of completing their arcs, like Picard and Tapestry, and yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, and season 6 also does a very almost pitch perfect job at using past events in the prior seasons to elevate episodes even higher. I mean, the use of the flute and lessons just masterful, just perfect. Lore in the finale. What else?
Ship in a bottle.
Ship in a bottle. Moriarty. Yeah, just so many. Barkley, obviously recurring characters, of
Yeah.
course. It's just, and all these great moments are just so well earned through just 5 previous seasons of setting everything up. It's so nice. It's that perfect balance of a continuous show where yes, it is continuous, but also each week, what are we getting into?
Yeah.
Finally, it's got it perfectly. The formula has been perfected in this season.
Yeah, I don't know how serialized DS9 gets, or if a Voyager or Enterprise or serialized, I don't know. But this season again is why I love episodic just a little bit more than serialized. Like really good serialized shows can be some of the best shows of all time. Like I haven't watched it, but I know obviously like Breaking
Breaking
Bad,
Bad, yeah.
Sopranos, The Wire, like these are the supposedly the best shows of all time. Serialized shows. Like I love shows like the first half of Dexter and other serialized shows. So I get it. I do love serialized TV when it's really good. But episodic TV, you can have an episode in season 1 of a show like Duet in Deep Space Nine, or in season 6, and they could be the best episode of that show because it's episodic and they can do something new every week and they don't have to pick up directly from what just happened. But like you said, they perfected the callbacks, the fan service in the finale, Descent, calling back to Iborg, or in even Second Chances, calling back to the Icarus factor of season 2 with Riker and his dad. They don't just go back and reference the great ones. They reference it all.
They reference it all. Yeah. Credit to I think Ron Moore is a big part of that. I think Tapestry. And did he have any involvement in Descent?
I don't know specifically with writing, but I mean he's on the show as like he's a producer on the show.
Second Chances with the Icarus factor.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I'm sure.
But he's a producer on the whole
even
show.
Then, the staff writers too. Those people as well. Great. Those continuity checkers are just absolutely fantastic. And this is and it's also the first show to run parallel with a brand new show. And with that in mind, my entire thought process was, okay, people involved here are already jumping ship. They're going to be focusing on this new show, and TNG is kind of just going to be, just have them do whatever. But no, I don't know. I don't know if it was a competitive ball game, but TNG went fucking balls to the wall, because I thought for sure, okay, Deep Space Nine is the focus now. We're in our taper off years. I don't know how much longer TNG is going to last, but no, it was completely the opposite. TNG said, "We're not done yet, motherfucker."
Yeah, and you talk about that back and forth. I mean, that's the first time we've experienced it as viewers, and we've been talking about it for so long of like, oh, and that, once we get there, that's going to be crazy. And it was crazy. And, we came off of Chain of Command, was the last episode before Deep Space Nine. Incredible, two-parter. And then it goes into Deep Space Nine. We liked the first batch of episodes of Deep Space Nine overall. And then we come back, and we get Ship in a Bottle right when we come back. And it's like, oh, shit. Like, I expected to come back and come down, and it's like, oh, Ship in a Bottle. And then, we did have the Aquiel. But then we had, more bangers after that. And it made that going back and forth. Yes, sometimes we dreaded it, but also it made it so refreshing and fun, like coming back to the Enterprise. Because Enterprise is like my home. It's like when I'm a fake home, when I'm watching TV. Like, I just want to be on the Enterprise. I saw a comment on YouTube the other day on our Lessons reaction that was talking about, like, how, someone was talking about how, when they go to watch TNG, like, sometimes they don't even care what the episode is. Like, especially back in the day, if you're just turning it on, it's you don't care what it is. You just want to be with these characters and be on this ship, regardless of whatever plot they're in. And I totally get that. Like, yes, I have obviously my favorites, and we rank them and all those things, but like, yeah, I just love spending the time, the 45 minutes, on the ship and with this crew. And it is sad that it's going to be over soon, but there's 179 total episodes that you can go back and I'm so excited for once we finish the show and I can watch the channel on Paramount Plus that just plays, I think they play all Star Trek, but when they're playing Next Generation, to be able to just throw on an episode and not care what episode it is and not have to worry about spoilers, and just be able to just watch whatever's on, because I just want it in the background of my house, like at all times.
I was going to bring that up. Yes, once we finish the show, it doesn't matter what episode's on. I don't have regular TV because I'm sure there are channels on standard TV, cable TV that play Star Trek all day. But then I just remembered the Paramount Plus thing, like, oh yeah, I can turn that on whenever, but I've got to be careful because they do play other stuff on that
Yeah, yeah.
channel, so you have to look at to see what's on there. Yeah, I'm mourning the loss. It hasn't happened yet. I mean, end of this season, and people have already talked about season 7 being, the wind
Bad.
down season. But I always think about what happened with season 3, and there's a lot of good stuff in season 3. So,
Of TOS.
yeah, TOS. Sorry.
Yeah.
So we're not there yet. We're not there yet. But
Yeah.
I'm going to soak in every moment. I think especially during lessons, where I'm having a really good mind's eye. I don't know if that's the right term, but realizing, okay, we're watching something special here. Let me soak in every moment of this.
Yeah, and we had a discussion a couple of months ago or so in the Bridge Crew Discord, which is our highest tier on Patreon. The Bridge Crew, you get access to a private Discord server, and we were talking about someone brought up TNG versus TOS, and we had just come off of season 5, and I was in that kind of low point of how I felt about TNG, and I was like, at that time, I was like, yeah, TOS is better. And I was like, if TOS had 7 seasons, I did like the meme of like the world if if this with the futuristic, like the world of TOS had 7 seasons.
Yeah.
And I still feel that way, but this season, like now it's kind of like they're back to like this, where it's like I love TOS and I'm excited to eventually go back and watch it again. But at the same time, like if I had to just throw on Star Trek in my house in the background, it would probably be TNG because it's just more like home feeling, and I love the characters, and they're all friends, and they're all great, and it just has that comfortable feeling. And then we got the best episodes of all time in this season. So, not to go too much into a comparison, I'm sure we will eventually do that type of video, but that's just kind of the turnaround this season had on me of like the staying power of TNG and the reminder, which I am nervous / excited to go into season 7 and see if we like it more than the consensus, or if it's fun in a bad way sometimes. But overall, regardless of any of that, it's almost like in a way it doesn't matter because we got season 6. So
Yeah. Did you feel that way about season 5 or thinking TOS is better? Because we came off season 4, probably thinking the same way you feel about season 6 right now. And then season 5 was very similar to, I don't know, a season 2, we've talked about it, of TNG, where super highs, super lows. So you were kind of just.
yeah, this is a hot take, but I think season 2 of TNG is better than season 5. I don't like season 5 is. We can have the discussion later. I don't.
We'll save that for another video.
Find me when I'm on a live stream and you can come roast me about it. But like, obviously, there's the Inner Light, there's Iborg, there's episodes in season 5,
Redemption 2.
yeah, Redemption 2 that are great. But just like on the whole, as a season, and again, this is also something that like not a lot of people really care about comparing seasons, but something I'm interested in. But yeah, I think season 5 was just like a huge downer for me, and then you threw Star Trek 6 in the middle, and it just like torpedoed the whole thing, and which isn't TNG's fault really, but I feel like TNG suffered because of it. And we got episodes like Unification Part 1 and shit, because of Star Trek 6. So
yeah,
it just was a low point, but
yeah,
you can go on.
Yeah. Okay. So this season we have the return of Scotty, Moriarty, and the debut of Captain Jellicoe. Some very strong characters this season. How you feel about talking about those guys?
Love all of them. Loved Jellicoe. Jellicoe was great.
One of the best Starfleet higher ups to ever come in, because the meme is that everyone in Starfleet is just a fucking numbskull or an idiot or an asshole. And Jellicoe comes in. He is an asshole, but he's a very good asshole. He's, holy shit, we're going to shake things up around here. And he's not wrong in anything he does. And it has great moments, with Troy and sensing how he's feeling. The whole Cardassian plot with them and that boardroom scene. And him and Riker, that whole rivalry they're having. Just an amazing character.
Yeah, 100%. And I love the moment where he tells Riker and Deanna what to do, and Riker's like, well, he's sure of himself. Deanna's like, no, he's not. And then they never go back to it. Like,
Yep,
it's just
that's
set the stage for his character. Like, he's not this facade he's putting on, but he's really good at the facade, to the point where he even shakes the Cardassians in their meetings.
Yeah, and talk about restraint. We don't see a scene of him, breaking down. It's just a little character thing. He's putting on a show. Similar to what, I don't know, Picard does sometimes. You got to put on a face as a captain. Kirk did it too. You got to put on who they are. I mean, sometimes you're not sure of yourself. I mean, what do they say? Fear is, or courage is being scared as hell and doing it anyway. I mean, that's what it is. I'm sure as a captain, you can't feel confident in yourself all the time. So I think that was a lovely little touch.
Yeah, 100%. You also brought up Scotty, and then who was the other one?
Moriarty.
So Scotty, he made Relics. He made that whole episode, obviously,
Yeah, yeah.
and that was great. And Relics gave us the goodbye to TOS that we didn't get, and it was amazing seeing Scotty and Picard on the TOS original bridge. And drinking the whatever it was.
Through the green real alcohol,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
That lovely
and
scene.
and it was just like talk about an emotional, just heavy scene. It was amazing. And yeah, I mean, you want to say anything on that?
No, yeah, just absolutely wonderful. Scotty gets lost, gets stuck in the transporter. He's, oh, I'm an old man, I'm done. And throughout this whole thing with the TNG crew and Geordi, I mean, I think we've been fan casting seeing Geordi and Scotty together, the two engineering guys, and it happened. And of course, they don't get along, which is great. And Scotty being we used to do it like that, and Geordi just getting fuck off, man. And then working together to get out of there. Just absolutely wonderful. And then just the send off and just the lovely shot of just Scotty there. The build up was so great. Just here's to you lads, and he thinks he's be by himself. And the seeing Picard on the original TOS bridge set and him looking around, Constellation class, it's just completely surreal. And in canon it's just the holodeck, but just seeing that they built it for that. And I heard they actually had fans help bring stuff in to make it. Just the whole thing's a love letter. The whole thing's a send off, and I just wish. No, I don't wish this, but the part of me that loves fan service wanted all of them there. Just as all the TOS cast members there, just as a final goodbye. But Scotty's good. I'm glad they just did Scotty. I don't want to see a TOS cast member all the time.
Yeah.
Just and I'm glad Scotty's such like a random one too. And the little lore we get about him, that he was a captain and all that. It's like, oh shit. But he's like, oh, I always prefer being an engineer. It's like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah, and I also I am curious once we get to Generations, because we both know that Kirk is in that movie, and I don't know anything else. But the idea that Kirk is dead this whole time during TNG, they're all dead except Spock. And Old Bones, I guess, is still alive. But the idea that he's dead, I don't want to see him on the Enterprise D. Like, I don't want for some weird zombie Kirk to show up. And that's why, like, when Scotty shows up in Relics, like, I didn't have a huge reaction right away. And, like...
You were frozen. I remember you were just...
yeah, and I didn't... on my list of things I wanted to see in TNG, Scotty being stuck in a transporter for 75 years or whatever and showing up as old Scotty, not on my list, of, like, things I would love to see. Which makes it so great that the episode itself was so great that I ended up loving it and, like, ended up being happy that they did it, so...
Yeah.
Execution.
But yes... Anyway, Scotty getting his kickback because he just wants to retire. Oh, I'm old and worthless. I don't belong on this new ship. Everything's outdated. Then all of a sudden, him helping to save the day, and being, oh, I'm not retiring. Get me on this roundabout, and he goes off. And where did he go? I don't know, but he's doing something, and I'm sure hopefully we'll see him again.
He shows up in the finale, TNG finale. There's more of us.
There's more of us, Poe.
Who? And then the last one you named Moriarty.
Moriarty.
Now, that's the best callback of the season, character-wise.
Season 2 character. And a Barkley episode, too. I mean, but I'm sure we'll talk about that later. But, it's pitch-perfect performance by the actor who plays him. And just one of the most mind-blowing episodes that he was in. And just the callbacks to stuff like that is just absolutely wonderful.
And also, when we watched the season 2 episode and he traps him in there like that, I did have the feeling initially when they first put him in there. I was like, oh, okay, he'll probably come back at some point. Like, I thought that when we watched that episode, like, okay, yeah, like, that's a pretty direct, obvious setup of, like, we're going to keep you in here. And then as the show went on, like, I forgot about it. Yeah, like, the show went on. And it's like, oh, I guess that's it. Elementary Dear Data, I think, was that episode. And bringing him back, so we razz our audience a lot and, like, give them a lot of shit. I just want to say thank you. No one spoiled that for me. And it would have been the easiest thing in the world to spoil. Can't wait till you see him when he comes back. So maybe people did. Maybe I missed it. But thank God that wasn't spoiled, because that was one of the best reveals of at least this season, maybe of the show, of Barkley going in there. Now, they do make the choice to show his character name before he pops up. You didn't even catch that. I did see it, so it was a little bit like the lore subtitle of like, I was like, oh, Moriarty, and I was like, oh, and it came back, and then he pops up.
Luckily for me, I'm so terrible with names, except lore, that it totally worked on me.
But either way, great reveal, great choice to go back to that episode, and also the great, extremely small Pulaski mention without even saying her name, where he mentions having a hostage, and Barkley's like, hostage, and then they just move on. They don't like just great little. I don't even know if they did it on purpose. I mean, they had to have, but like I'm glad they didn't go like too far, too cringy into it or anything.
Right, right. And also, if you're one of those people that comments, oh, can't wait to see those. Oh, don't forget this character's name. Don't do that. It's such an obvious spoiler. Oh, this won't be the last you'll see of, or make sure you remember this name. It's just
don't do that.
Don't do that. It's simple. Don't do that. Okay, how about this? We got 2 Q episodes, 2 Barkley episodes, but no Luxwana or Wesley. How do you feel about that?
What was the second Q episode after True Q? Oh, Tapestry. Yeah, okay.
Somehow, I wrote this down as well. Somehow the best and the worst Q episode in the same season.
You thought it was the worst Q episode?
True Q? No Tapestry?
Tapestry? No. You thought True Q was the worst Q episode?
I think I wrote that down just as a funny thing to say.
I mean, you're right that it's not good.
It's not good. It's very bad.
That's one of those 4 for me of the season where I'm like, I didn't think it was a bad episode, but I'm like, yeah, this one's not really.
When you're comparing it to some of the best of all time.
Yeah, I thought that we at least got some fun Q stuff in it, but yeah.
Did we?
Let me think.
I can't remember.
Well, we got to see Riker dress up when they did when the other woman takes him to the thing.
Yeah, I think it was
a few fun things.
I think it was mostly her doing stuff. I think Q was just
honestly.
I gotta kill her.
I remember the episode just being dead silent, no score.
Yeah, I think it was a completely flat reaction from what I remember.
Oh yeah, we didn't care for it, but obviously Tapestry makes up for it.
Yeah, probably my favorite Q episode, but I'm sure we'll talk about that.
Plus, we got Q less pretty short after True Q, which made up for it on the DS9 side. So
was Q even in season 5?
He was not.
There you go.
So he doubled up this time and tripled up, but going over to DS9 as well.
How do you feel about the lack? I mean, we saw Luxwana.
Yeah, we talked about Luxwana in the other video. You can go watch. Yeah,
but no Wesley at all. I mean, he's probably catching up, being pushed back a grade.
Pushed back a grade, yeah, true. I just thought about the First Duty the other day, that episode, and I was like, damn, that's like pretty scarring and traumatic. Wesley's got to deal with that his whole life. Like, he contributed to the death of his classmate. But there's only so many characters that you can make room for to do a dedicated episode every season that's not a regular. Q, Loaxana, now Wesley. Like, it would be, and he had 2 episodes last season. He had the game and the First Duty.
That's right, that's true.
So I don't miss him necessarily. Yeah. If they brought him back and did something good like the First Duty, I'd be up for it, but I'm not craving it.
Gotcha. Just every season, I'm just having my, my checklist. Like, okay, who's, I was expecting just 1 Barkley episode, but we got 2. Ensign Rowe is here, but Michelle Forbes only for a few minutes and just 1 episode. Okay.
Was it only Rascals?
It was only Rascals. Doesn't that suck?
I knew she was gone mostly, but I hadn't realized it was that little. Yeah, it does suck.
Was she just completely checked out of the show by this point? Because she didn't take the.
She said no to Deep Space Nine.
Said no to Deep Space Nine, which that would have been amazing. I mean, I like Kira, but Ensign Rowe and Chief on the same show, and they're like regulars. It'd be great.
Yeah, I don't know. I love Ensign Rowe in season 5. For as much shit as I give season 5 that we just talked about, that's one of the highlights, obviously. But yeah, it's odd that not only is she not in this season except for that 1 episode, but then she's only used for a few minutes, and they do this kid story, which we liked Rascals.
Yeah.
But yeah, if she never returns, that's a bummer. Honestly, though, if she never returns, maybe they should have just kept her as a kid in Rascals. Remember that whole plot line?
Yeah, that was an entire plot. Almost as if they were figuring out a way just to write her off.
And they're like, Michelle, you coming back? Because we could leave you as a kid.
we can shoot the scene where we keep the kid. Just please let us know. And also, answer our email, if email's around at this point, if you're going to do Deep Space Nine or
I
not.
hope she comes back, but at the end of the day, I mean, yeah, it seemed like she wasn't a diehard, like committing to doing Star Trek, which is fine. Do whatever you want, I guess. But
going down the Denise Crosby route.
Yeah.
Without being a regular, but I want to do movies.
Yeah, maybe that's why I blame her less, because like she isn't she wasn't brought on as like a main person, so it's kind of like, yeah, if you don't know you have that stability, like they're just calling you for guest
Yeah.
appearances, then you can't rely on it. But then if she was offered the DS9 job, but she probably just figured to get canceled after one season, I don't know.
Maybe she didn't like doing it that much. Like, oh, I'm just here for the money.
Yeah,
I
who
don't want
knows?
to. I don't want to do this. I don't want to sit in that makeup chair and get that little nose ridge
She
every week.
alive? Let's hit her up. Let's ask.
Hey, Michelle, it's me.
It's me. Who?
But 3 Guinan appearances, including Guinan from the past and Child Guinan. I mean, 3 in one season. I think that's pretty good.
What was her other one?
Uh, the one with she's helping Beverly get her mojo back.
Suspicions. Yeah.
Suspicions, yeah.
So
Tennis elbow.
no, yeah, but no, dude, that's not enough, dude.
Not enough.
That's not enough. One's a kid Guinan and one's not the Guinan we know.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up because one was Time Zero, and then Kid Guinan. Kid was fine, but it's not, And then
Suspicions was great, classic Guinan.
Classic Guinan, but just that one episode.
Yeah, which makes me like Suspicions more, I guess. But I mean, yeah, I think again, Guinan's great. Would love to see more of her, but part of why she's great is why she's not there all the time. So
It's
tough.
It's a tough balance. It's a tough balance. Let's see. 3 Worf-focused episodes. But I got to say, they fell flat compared to the Season 5 Worf episodes. Birthright was kind of middle of the road. And then, what was it, Air?
Rightful Heir.
Rightful Heir was also kind of just one of those. We've gone higher and deeper with Worf episodes. Just kind of not a letdown, but just we could have gone a little bit deeper and heavier.
Were you saying 3 because you were counting Birthright at part 1 and 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about this when I was making my list. It's interesting that I like both of those episodes, mainly because they're Klingon and Worf focused. But I also think it shows how strong the season is that they're not bad and they're good Klingon episodes and they're still not anywhere near my favorites of the season.
Yep.
They're just decent. I really like the scene in Birthright Part 1 with him and Deanna where he breaks the table and Deanna comes in and talks about his dad and everything. And then he talks with Data about his dad. And then, I like the story in Birthright Part 2. So it's good Worf stuff. But nothing. I don't think anything's ever going to top Redemption 2. Or just the whole arc from Sins of the Father, Redemption, or Sins of the Father, Reunion, Redemption 1, Redemption 2. I mean, maybe they'll pull it off. But at this point, I don't want to say Worf's arc is finished, but he is, of the main cast, probably the most developed from beginning of the show to now. Would you agree?
Yeah. And it does, maybe not a fully completed arc, but his arc from the beginning all the way up to Redemption 2, getting his honor back, and just, that ending on the scene moment at the end was just a wonderful button. And everything right now just feels extra to that, or complimentary, where it's adding a little bit, but not too much. And I mean, I think it's hilarious that Worf is involved in every single aspect of Klingon politics or growth.
Yeah, true.
Kahless, their god, comes back. Worf's involved.
Yeah, how about Dorf? Is he only in Rascals?
Yes.
Because he's not in Birthright, and he's not in Rightful Heir.
Yeah, because we were making jokes about, Worf's been gone for 10 days, and Alexander's just chilling.
But he was good in Rascals, his role that he had.
He was really good, yeah. Young Picard, he was pretty good too. I think that maybe they knew, especially after the Fever Dream Nightmare episode last season, where it's let's pull it back a bit, let's just a little bit.
What if we don't ever see him again in like season 7, and it's just like a left off? Because they didn't have to bring him back. Like in season 5, they brought him back to the Enterprise and put him in a few episodes, and then he's just in one episode here, and then it's like what if next season comes and goes and it's just never brought up?
Never seen it again. Then he comes back in an episode of Enterprise or Discovery or something. He's a full-grown man. It's like, it's Alexander, and everyone's who?
Or he's the same age.
Yeah, still. Oh my God! They go to a space station. They go to a transporter.
Oh yeah, he's been stuck here.
Somehow the actor in an age.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry for this, but I just wrote this down because I thought it was funny. It's amazing how season 6 of Star Trek is amazing, but movie 6.
We got both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah,
the worst movie, best TV show season.
It's like poetry. They rhyme. Okay. Let's see. I think execution here was at its all-time high, but like any season, some fell way flatter than expected at this point in the show. I guess Aquiel, and for me, Man of the People. I think that one for me, it was just not my favorite, but especially Aquiel. I mean, I think with every season, there's always, for the most part, one where it's just okay, up the long ladder, Aquiel. I'm trying to think of one from season 3 and 4 where they were
Or
just
they're just dog shit terrible.
yeah,
Imaginary Friend last season.
imaginary friend, exactly.
Season 4?
I don't. Yeah, season 4 is a pretty solid.
Yeah, I'd have to look at the episode list because I don't remember off the top of my head. My bottom one for season 4 was Cupid, but there was Final Mission, the Wesley one, but that wasn't dog shit. It was just fine.
Yeah, just
The
boring.
Loss in season 4 was where Troy loses her powers.
Is that where she's swimming, or is that a different one?
No, that's your favorite episode, Night Terrors.
Night Terrors. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's right.
But Man of the People,
You liked Man of the People.
that's
didn't
the
you?
bottom one for me of ones I've liked. So like right
Okay.
above that small group of ones I don't like, I only like Man of the People because I like Troy and Colby has some pretty good, classic Colby direction in it. And you just get to see Marina Sirtis have fun in this ridiculous character. But then once she becomes like old and then it just transitions into this man down on the planet, then who gives a fuck? But but there was enough in there that I thought was funny and, a good time. So
Yeah, I think there were some big swings here made too big for a 45-minute show, like The Chase, and some interesting concepts, but just didn't hit as good as it could, such as Suspicions. I think Suspicions could have been a little bit better, but I love the whole detective noir type monologue of every time Beverly's doing something scene to scene she's talking, because I don't think we've seen that much before. And The Chase was just a ridiculous, holy shit, this is a little bit too big for this episode of TV right now, where every species, or not every species, but almost every humanoid species comes from this one alien from Prometheus. And the fact that it was so very, yeah, I mean, some good moments with Picard and his old teacher,
yeah.
but, when they finally get down to the planet and the four species are just arguing, and then Beverly and Picard are just...
Yeah, that is a perfect example of not only being too big for it, but then it's not even the whole episode. It feels like 2 episodes mushed together.
Yeah.
And I was much more interested in the Picard mentor story, and then that just gets ended for this sci-fi heavy, complex story that deserves its own episode or movie. So that's what made that fall apart for me. Also, the fucking horseshit Klingon. I mean, just the fucking worst Klingon in the entire franchise thus far, and people didn't understand that, like, at least from the Patreon response, because it hasn't hit YouTube yet. Like, people liked that Klingon, thought he was funny, like, whatever, do you, but I just thought he was the worst one ever, worse than any of them in Star Trek 6.
Yeah, it's just tough to watch, where the whole thing just felt like a performance. Other Klingons have come on, and
Yes.
and they feel that they're Klingons, but this guy felt, I'm doing, an
That's
impression.
such a good, yeah, that's the perfect way to put it, 100%. Yes, I know it's Michael Dorn, but it's like he's fucking Worf, like Gowron, it's Gowron,
Yeah.
Obviously Kalar, Duras sisters, and then this guy shows up, and he's like, I'm an actor who was cast to play a Klingon, and it's like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, just not good.
Female Cardassian was kind of neat to see,
Yeah.
but,
What are you going to do?
even the female Klingon in Suspicions was better, as far as, like, and that was only a couple episodes later, as far as, like, when she was part of that mystery, and, like, she wasn't the best Klingon of all time, but, or all the Klingons in Birthright, it's like, I believed all of them. Yeah, that guy was terrible.
Yeah, I don't understand how you can look at every other Klingon performance in this show or just this season, and then look at this fucking guy and not go, tap the brakes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's the way he was directed, because he had to, be opposite of Data, and Data's just
Yeah, whatever. Who knows? It's not a big deal.
not an excuse. Not an excuse. All right, so we saw the directorial debuts of LeVar Burton, Alexander Singer, and Dan Curry. And Dan Curry is like a visual effects guy. He's been with the show forever. But LeVar Burton, crazy.
Yeah, he did Second Chances. It was
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah, and what a banger of an episode. And directing a guy who's also an actor-director, and directing 2 versions of him. I thought that was an interesting interesting choice.
And also, some people have brought up the fact of, like, they go, "Oh, guys, the directors don't have any control over the episode story." We know that. When I was bringing up, like, all the episodes that the actors in the show direct end up being good, mostly. Jonathan Frakes directed The Chase, for example. But mostly they've all been good. I don't mean in the sense that obviously they didn't write the episode or anything, but it is just a funny coincidence that almost every time you see one of the actors' names as the director, the episode is really good. It could be 100% coincidence, I guess, but it's like I feel like the people making the show, the Ron Moores, the Michael Pillars and stuff, like they have to know, like they have to have some inkling of like, oh, I like this script better than this one, or whatever the case is. And I feel like it's not always a coincidence that Jonathan Frakes or LeVar Burton or whoever gets given the story that they're given.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of favoritism, like let's give him a good one just in case. And then these other directors, just see what we can do with this. Like Alexander Singer did Ship in a Bottle, and I thought he did a very good job with it.
Did he do Relics as well? Right.
I want to say so. Let me.
I think that was his first one. And then also Adam Nimoy debuted.
I think he did
with Rascals.
I think he did a previous episode.
Oh, did he?
In a different season, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I just want to give a shout out to our executive producers, Michael Pillar and Rick Berman, for just absolutely killing it this season, guys. All the staff writers. I know you guys already got your money, but if I had $1 to give you, I'd give you $1.
My number 10 episode of the season. I loved almost every episode, so it was really hard. Again, it's the hardest is which is number 1 and which is just makes the list, Mm-hmm. But my number 10 was Suspicions.
But of all the scientists I invited, only 4 were interested in hearing about Dr. Rager's invention.
Of course, Beverly Crusher started off in the show as my favorite character. She did kind of fall off recently, but she gets this episode. I think Gates McFadden does a great job. Guinan, this is the only real Guinan episode of the season, as I've just learned, and she's great in it. And yeah, I usually don't like narration, but the one time it makes sense, it's like a noir mystery, and it was cool to see a TNG episode where we get flashbacks and narration and stuff, a different kind of narrative structure.
Yeah,
I'm always a fan of. Plus, we get to see all the different cool aliens. The one guy that she shoots in the cool fight scene in the shuttle, and then he has the hole in his stomach. This episode had a lot. It had a lot of good stuff. Not my favorite, obviously, but just makes my top 10.
Yeah, and it's set up that his body structure is different, and then good stuff.
And then the patrons, their number 10 was 68 points. Was Schisms, the alien abduction episode.
Interesting. Okay, because my number 10 was Schisms.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah. Schisms was actually absolutely wonderful. I love a good horror, mystery, science fiction episode, and that wonderful scene in the holodeck when all those characters are there, and even just a brand new person in there, and they're all helping put together this table, and just the species from not even this dimension. And I just love a good horror mystery.
100%.
That one was directed by Robert Weimer. So, yeah. He was a returning director. I don't remember what he did before, but yeah, pretty good. He has a wonderfully directed scene. I think it was just some creepy, brooding music, and everyone's faces are all just full of horror as they're putting this thing together in the holodeck. Yeah, good stuff.
Your number 9?
My number 9. My number 9 is A Fistful of Datas.
Man's got to make a living.
I suggest you find a new line of work.
Wow.
The fun episode, just a whole bunch of fun. I love the Clint Eastwood westerns, especially the big 3. Fistful of Dollars, For a Few Dollars More, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And just Worf and Troy, just this odd pairing. And Alexander wasn't 2 episodes.
Yes,
we knew he was in another episode. That's why it was so out of place. They were probably commenting, no, Alexander.
Go delete it. Go delete it.
Go delete it. No, this episode was just an absolute blast. And Brent Spiner being able to just play multiple versions of different characters in this Western setting. Holodeck gone wrong, yeah, whatever. It's an excuse to have a banger of an episode, and directed by Patrick Stewart, of all people. And yes, I know the Enterprise was riding off into the sun at the end. It was just a cool shot that we haven't seen before. Leave me alone.
Also, I won't get into it. Yeah, but also it is funny because apparently Patrick Stewart had never seen a Western when he directed that.
That's insane. I wonder if he had an interest. Let me direct this one. I think I could do a really good job of that. Yeah, sure, Patrick, whatever.
The patrons, number 9, 71 total points. Timescape, the penultimate episode of the season.
Oh, okay.
A nice little sci-fi one. And my number 9 is going to be Relics.
Here's to you, lads.
Okay.
Scotty episode. Now, when we first saw this one, I would have thought this is going to be top 3, top 5, of the season. But that's how great the season ended up being. That this one, which gave me so much fan service that I loved, is all the way down here at number 9. So that just goes to show how much I loved all these episodes.
Yeah.
And then my number 8, Ship in a Bottle.
Okay.
Definitely up there with the Barkley episode and a couple others as far as great holodeck episodes. Matter of Perspective is another one I love. But Ship in a Bottle was great, Inception-esque, Matrix-esque, but before any of those. And yeah, seeing Moriarty back, we already talked about it, but that was awesome. Barkley there as well, so good stuff. Number 8 for the patrons, Frame of Mind with 93 total points. The Frakes episode. Frakes of Mind.
Frakes of Mind. Okay. My number 8. My number 8 is Relics.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I just love Scotty so much, and seeing him back mixed with the TNG crew was absolutely great. I thought something would happen with that giant planet that's as big as it was, as they explained, but maybe they'll come back to it.
Oh, the Sphere?
The Sphere, yeah, whatever. But no, from beginning to end, with all the moments that we talked about earlier, just absolutely amazing.
One of my favorite commentary moments from us though this season is first the cube, then the sphere, next the pyramid.
Oh, just wonderful. And then my number 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
My number 7 is the quality of life.
What is the definition of life?
Hey,
We didn't even I was going
Talk
through my
about
list. We
that,
didn't even
yeah.
talk about that earlier. Yeah.
slips through the cracks.
Slips through the cracks. Just that's how great the season is. There's so much to talk about. And we're talking about following up in previous episodes. This is basically a Measure of a Man sequel, directed by Jonathan Frakes, and it was just absolutely stellar. Some great, wonderful moments. That moment with Data. It's like, who stopped the ship? Or who was it? The whatever they're called, the nanobots or whatever. It's like, no, sir, I did. And just and the arguments that Bruce Maddox was talking about. Oh, Data's humanoid, blah blah blah. And then we get to see this argument from a species or this new form of life that looks like what they do, and yeah, then one of them sacrificed themselves to save everyone. It was
Yeah,
great.
the exocomps.
Exocomps, yeah.
Yeah, and when we saw that, I thought for a moment, I'm like, is this my new favorite episode? I loved it so much.
Yeah,
and I will admit it has not fallen or anything, but as the rest of the season was so damn good, it became hard to focus on that one as much.
Yep.
Plus, it has a generic name, Quality of Life. But yeah, great stuff there for sure. That was your number 7, right?
Yes.
All right. Number 7 for the patrons, Face of the Enemy, 108 points, the Deanna Troi Romulan episode.
Okay.
My number 7, Freaks of Mind, Frame of Mind. Again, one of those I praised it for at this point. Anything that's different, anything that's unique, and I thought the way they did, this was basically like a Shutter Island-esque episode. The way they did the glass shattering every time you would break through the illusion was awesome. Love Jonathan Frakes, probably his best acting performance. Not the best Riker episode, I would say, but Jonathan Frakes specifically, his acting was awesome. Good direction here on this one, too. I think this was Conway, right, that did this one?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a good one. My number 6, A Fistful of Datas.
As you are with a woman's heart.
Computer, in program.
I'm actually surprised I had it higher than you, because you're more of a Western guy than me. I've never really seen any Westerns except for we watched Unforgiven for the Patreon like last year, but besides that, I haven't, or not Unforgiven. We didn't watch that. We watched Tombstone. See, that's how much of a Western guy I am. I didn't even get the title right. But I love this episode. The combination you talked about, Worf, Troy playing these different holodeck characters, Alexander, and then getting stuck in there and everyone becoming Data. I love that it wasn't Data in there, but all the characters just becoming Data, and it was just hilarious. Of course, the whole gag with him being the woman at the end and everything, and just the Troy's reveal as Durango when the guy's like, God, man's got to eat, and then shoots his hand off. You should find a new line of work. It's like, damn, badass. Great stuff. Yeah, that was my number 6. So the Patrons number 6, 117 total points. Second Chances, the Thomas Riker episode, LeVar Burton directed.
Gotcha.
Your number 6?
My number 6 is the Chain of Command duo.
There are 4 lives!
Those 2 episodes, both great in their own right. But Jellicoe really makes these episodes, and in part 2, the whole Picard and the Cardassian, who was also, the guy from the Klingon from Star Trek Part 6, and just that whole story, wrapping up with Picard saying there are 4 lights, then his great scene with Troy. I really did believe I saw 5 lights there. Just absolutely stellar. But yeah, Jellicoe and Picard, their performances throughout those 2 episodes, just great. Jellicoe shaking things up, stellar.
Yeah, 100%. Your number 5?
My number 5 is Frakes of Mind.
You're lying. Let me help you.
No!
Yeah, I love Frame of Mind. This amount of times I was watching it and just trying to piece together all these layers, and then when I think I put it together, I'm like, oh, wait, he's probably been captured by these people, and that's what it was. We had that great scene with Worf.
Oh, yeah. What the fuck, Worf?
Yeah, Jonathan Frakes, I'm just glad he got to show off his acting chops. It sucks that he doesn't give himself enough credit. I mean, I do the same thing with myself with literally anything, so I get it. But he's absolutely wonderful, and I'm glad that the show didn't just... I didn't expect them to write him off, but I'm glad they're giving him stuff to do, because after Best of Both Worlds, I was worried, what does he do now?
Yeah.
What does he do now? So I'm glad they keep coming up with stuff for him, and it was great.
Yeah, that was your number 5, right?
Yeah.
Number 5 for the Patrons, 141 total points. Ship in a Bottle. They love that one, making their top 5. My number 5, The Quality of Life.
The transporter is not malfunctioning. I've locked out the controls.
There you go.
So a little bit higher for me. I really love this one. I thought it, like I said, when I first saw it, it would have been my number 1 for the season. But it still just made my top 5. Really loved it. We kind of already talked about it for the most part. But another moment I love in the episode is when Data goes to Dr. Crusher, who just got done doing the sparring or whatever with Worf, and talks to her about what constitutes life. And every time Beverly tries to explain it, Data has a retort. She's like, oh, well, something that expands or reproduces, and he's like, well, what about a fire? That is technically alive and reproduces. And she's like, well, no. And then he's like, what about me? I am alive. And she's like, well, you're unique. And it's like, they just confront that it's not that easy, to have that answer. And their whole discussion about it was just an excellent scene. That's the type of sci-fi I love, where it's not necessarily sci-fi in a way, but it's like, yes, I love character scenes too, but this was a character scene, but they're talking about something like philosophical and deep that doesn't have a direct answer. So really love that.
Absolutely.
Number 4 for me, Second Chances. I loved Second Chances a lot.
I gave you an order, Lieutenant.
It solidified probably Deanna Troi as my favorite character of the show at this point. And all the stuff with Riker was great. The 2 Rikers, Thomas Riker, the fact that they didn't kill him.
Yep.
And they kept him around, I really loved as well. So that is my number 4. Number 4 for the Patrons, 151 total points, Relics. The Patrons love Scotty, of course. So
Solid. My number 4, Ship in a Bottle.
Computer end program.
Very few times during a reaction do you just have that mind-blowing moment where it reveals it to you exactly when they want it to. And the scene that we're still in the holodeck. What? And it's, oh, of course, because the entire time when Moriarty walks out in the ship, I'm just, how the fuck is this happening? We're just breaking, you and I were both, we're breaking new grounds here. This is crazy. And then to find out it's just all in the holodeck was just wonderfully done. And then, they trap him in that thing, but it's like a constantly evolving system where he can live out his whole life, not even know. We made our joke about Riker with the bat. Yeah, that episode is one of my favorite reactions we've ever had.
Yeah, totally fair. Your number 3?
My number three is Lessons.
Nice.
Lessons is I talk about it all the time. By all the time, I mean a couple of times on camera here. But it's one of those moments where we're watching something special here, and to watch Picard go through this relationship, and then the fear that it's going to end, and the fact that there's no plot at all throughout the entire thing until it makes sense and it's earned. It's not just, oh, look at that alien we just came across. It's everything's all set up and paid off later. I'm sure we're going to talk about it some more, but yeah, it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was your number 3?
3, yeah.
All right, well, at 162 total points, the patrons at number 3 had Lessons.
I was about to say, we haven't been on par. I'm usually on par with the patrons. I think this is our first or second.
You guys both had Schisms at 10, I think.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, they had Lessons number 3. I'm shocked by that. When I was making the list, I said this about the bonding. I've said it about a few episodes. I'm thinking maybe our reaction pushed this up a little bit for some of them, because this is not one of those that is up there as a most universally loved, TNG episode. But I think the people who like Star Trek, or specifically TNG, for some of the same reasons we do, love this one for the same reasons we do. So I'm glad it's on the list, and I'm glad it's that high. My number 3 is Chain of Command.
Let's drop the ranks for a moment. I don't like you. I think you're insubordinate, arrogant, willful.
The two-parter.
Okay.
I think Chain of Command is the best two-parter of the series, at least thus far. Definitely mid-season, because comparing it to Unification and Birthright, blows them out of the water. But even if you're talking about the overlapping season ones, I think Chain of Command is better than Best of Both Worlds. I think it's better than Redemption, even though obviously Redemption 2 is amazing. But overall as a two-parter, I think this is 2 perfect episodes back-to-back with a different enough story that each episode feels full. When we got that to be continued at part 1, we both, whoa! And we knew it was part 1. It was called part 1, and we got, caught by that to be continued.
Yeah.
I can't imagine, I just talked about it there with the patrons' pick of Lessons, reasons people love Star Trek. There's a whole bunch of different reasons people love Star Trek. I can't think of a single person who would love Star Trek and watch Chain of Command and go, this isn't the type of episode for me. What doesn't this two-parter have? It has the military stuff. It has Black Ops. It has the Cardassian stuff. It has sci-fi. It has character stuff. It's what in this it would not be for you? I can't imagine a Star Trek fan not liking it.
What else do you want? Your number 2?
Yeah, my number 2 is Tapestry. The best Q episode and the best Picard episode. Didn't think they'd be 2 and 1, but they are. At least so far.
You'd think they go hand in hand, but
yeah, fair. Yeah. The completion of Picard's arc, in my opinion, and obviously it means more to us because we watched the whole show. But I honestly think you could show someone just this episode and they'd understand Picard after watching it.
Yeah, they set it up well in the beginning.
Yeah, they would understand it and be like, "Oh, that's who that person is," which Picard didn't get at the beginning of the show, like Cisco got, an emissary. I guess Kirk didn't really get it either. I'd have to think more about. Oh, City on the Edge of Forever, I guess, could be one for Kirk. But this is, in my opinion, the Picard episode and one of the best episodes of the show. So, but it is number 2. And then the patrons' number 2 is also Tapestry. So that's theirs as well. 250. There's a big jump here from the last one. 215 total points for Tapestry. So you want to do your number 2, and then we'll do honorable mentions before you do number 1.
Yeah. So I guess we're going 3 for 3 here, because my number 2 is Tapestry.
Hey!
Welcome to the afterlife, Jean-Luc. You're dead.
Yeah, the idea that Q is God after you die, I think that's a hilarious concept, but just Picard the entire time kind of being ashamed of his past and who he was, and just Q being, the one to show him, hey, what you've done in the past makes you are who you are now. Because if you didn't do all these things, if you didn't fight those Nausicaans, if you didn't, take command of the Stargazer and the captain of all it, if you didn't take any chances, you'd be this blue shirt, teal shirt loser or played safe guy. And just I loved the realization when Picard was, because the entire time I think all the way back I was stabbed in the back by an Oskin and I have a fake heart, but for some reason I laughed. I don't know why. And then that realization when he gets stabbed, it's like, oh my God, is this one of those fucking paradox time moments where it's always been like that, but because we always knew that we would come back to this moment, and just Picard finally accepting who he was. And I saw some people talking about this, people, and the complete opposite between him and Kirk. Somewhere it's described that Kirk was described as a walking book with legs, and then he became, the outward ladies' man, gallivant captain. And then the idea that Picard was a jock frat boy back in the day, and then he just becomes his reserved, stoic, very smart, virtuous captain. I think that's kind of funny. But this episode was a masterpiece. Written by Ronald Moore, directed by Les Landau, and I love it to death. Picard with adult Picard with the young, I guess she was 21, but watching it.
Oh yeah, apparently she was 17 when they filmed it.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Got him.
yeah. Depends on what the age of consent is. I don't know, whatever. But besides that, I don't want to dampen how I feel about this episode with that one scene, but
I don't care about real life details.
yeah, who cares?
Separate the art from the
Separate-
artist.
Yeah.
That's extremely ignorant. All right, honorable mentions.
So my honorable mentions, I got two of them. Realm of Fear, Barkley, that's my guy. Love it. Anytime he's the front focal point of an episode is great, and what it looks like in the transporter, all that. And Face of the Enemy. It was right there. Deanna Troy's great episode. We had that guy from Captain Pursuit as that Romulan, and just that tension aboard that Romulan ship. And it's an episode that just throws you right in with a great hook. You can tell it's Deanna's voice. Turns on the light, looks like a Romulan. Like good stuff.
I also have Face of the Enemy on my honorable mention. Great episode, but it just got pushed out. There's so many great episodes, and it just is. It's a solid. It could even be an A maybe when we do the tier list, but it's on my honorable mentions. Starship Mine, I really liked.
Oh yeah.
Die Hard Star Trek.
Die Hard Star Trek.
And I also loved the Data small talk side plot in the first half. So that was just a good fun episode,
Yeah.
And then also honorable mention for me, Timescape. I think Timescape is the most generic Star Trek episode of all time in a good way. It's like when you think of like what up to this point, like give me a Star Trek episode. It's Timescape. It's like it's a sci-fi plot. There's Romulans. There's weird technology time stuff going on. It's a Star Trek episode, but like in a good way. And it's like very much like TOS, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. Just didn't quite make the list for me.
There you go.
And then the patrons, honorable mentions. So they had 3 episodes that were far above all of the others, but didn't make the list. At 32 points total was Rascals. That didn't make either of ours, and we really enjoyed that one. Starship Mine, they also had honorable mention, 34 points, and then 61 total points. Fistful of Datas was an honorable mention for them as well. Didn't make the list. A couple other just fun facts I like to point out when I do these. The only episodes to not get any points whatsoever were Man of the People, True Q, and Aquiel. Obviously, Aquiel is fair, but I was surprised no one said True Q because I thought there were some defenders of that one, but it wasn't in anybody's top 10.
Well, I'm proud of you all.
And then Birthright, the 2-parter, only got one. It was on one top 10 list. Someone had it on their top 10 list.
God damn.
So that was interesting.
There you go.
All right, Alex, you're number 1.
My number 1 of season 6 of Star Trek: The Next Generation is Oh wait, hold on. Get it? Transfigurations. All right. Second Chances.
I was thinking about you.
Wow, really?
I fucking loved Second Chances.
Yeah.
Just great. I just loved everything about it. I talked about it in the discussion, but just the restraint and the choices they made with this episode, and I don't know, this felt very personal to me, a version of myself from 80 years ago, and the choices I could have made, and it's all the scenes the 2 Rikers had together, but also the restraints where it's not an evil alien, it's not this weird plot by someone, it's real, and the fact that they didn't kill him off at the end. The whole thing felt very special to me, and with all the stuff with Thomas and Deanna, and just the idea of this, people moving on in their life, and it's like, oh, I just want that person back from when I knew them, when they loved me. And then in this episode, they literally brought back the person back of that person who loved you. I mean, I'm not saying I'd like that to happen to me at some point in my life, but I've had relationships end where the people just change and they grow on and they grow. And I always wonder, it's like, oh man, I wonder if I can ever go back to the person who I thought they were. And this episode literally has that. And then it also has, not a little downer ending, but they separate because, I'm glad they didn't go with the fucking plot of having Will Riker die and Thomas take his place.
Yeah.
I think that's a bit ridiculous, but this episode felt very special to me. I think that my top 3 are very close, all neck and neck. It was just how I'm feeling. But as I was putting my list together, typing it out, and Second Chances, and just that's the one. That's the one for me.
Yeah, I would definitely say. Well, I haven't even revealed my number 1 yet, so even though we all know what it is, but we'll get there. But yeah, I am surprised that's your number 1. Not like super shocked, but I honestly thought it would be Chain of Command would be your number 1.
Really?
But I get why we like the more character stuff and romance stuff more sometimes. But the patrons had Chain of Command number 1, of course.
That makes sense.
Not too far of a favorite ahead of Tapestry. They had Tapestry was 215 total points. Chain of Command was 249. So sizable lead. It was most top 10 lists had either Chain of Command or Tapestry as the number 1, number 2, and then there were obviously a few variances. But that makes sense. For me, obviously, my number 1 is Lessons. It's my favorite Star Trek episode of all time.
Well, Captain, now that I'm on your ship, maybe you should start expecting the unexpected.
Everything you already said. But I do think Lessons and Second Chances kind of go hand in hand in the sense of themes about love, but in different ways where obviously Picard meets Nella Darren and it's brand new and he immediately, falls in love with her. And for the first time, he kind of puts aside being a captain first. And, he even has that discussion with Deanna where he's like, is this okay for me to do? There's technically not anything against it, but I don't know if I should do it. And Deanna's like, yeah, you're good. Like, we're all happy for you, And then the realization at the end that he can't do that because he'll have to put her in danger, the whole time. And then you have Second Chances where it's about old love, and old flames coming back. And, can you reclaim that and everything? And both are just exactly what I love about the show. But for me, Lessons is so great. Also, the music aspect in Lessons, just them playing their music together. And how much that means to Picard. And to find someone, like when he goes and watches the show with her and Data, and he's like instantly hooked in, and then they play together. And the scene in the Jeffries tube was probably one of the best scenes of the entire series.
Yeah, my favorite shot, I think. I mean, I love the shot in the Jeffries tube with the camera panning out, but no, she's playing on her little piano. I think she's giving encouragement to Picard, and Picard just puts his flute down and he smiles, and he just has that oh shit moment, and it was just so wonderful. And every time it cut the commercial, it wasn't on a what's gonna happen. Oh, incoming transmission. It was just we're just watching this relationship build, and we just knew it was gonna get to that point where something's gonna happen. And when it started to, I rewatched the reaction. We're like, oh no, don't do it, show. And they set it up so perfectly. And my second favorite shot of the show is Picard is worried that she's dead. Picard finally opened up to someone. You saw it throughout the entire episode. He's nervous. He's in the elevator, and another crew member walks in. And he kind of just locks up. It's like, oh, I'm sorry about I have to be the captain here. And he finally opens up to someone. They're playing the Jeffries too, and he thinks she's dead. And that great shot, just going over to the flute in the box, camera underneath, and he's literally closing the box in his emotions. Never going to open up to someone ever again, because this is what happens. Just grief. All Picard has gone through is just fucking grief and horrible. Adding on to the Inner Light, which I think this makes the Inner Light even better, adding on to it, a supplementary episode of the Inner Light, but this on its own is just great. And then the ending, she's alive. And they didn't kill her off, thank God. I love it when shows keep things open. Death is so final. I mean, somehow, I mean, for the most part, death is so final.
It should be.
Multiverse, yeah, it should be. Rip Kalar. I hope she comes
break the rule for Kalar.
Break the rule for Kalar.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love how we can leave this open for another day.
Yeah, and then the conversation they have afterwards, where he's like, I shut down, and he goes, I knew I'd never be able to get joy again from music. And then when she's leaving, she's like, don't give up your music, when she's leaving. It's just like so good because the theme, and it didn't even really hit me as much on the first time, where like the theme of music, like obviously I see they're playing music and everything, but like the whole theme of it throughout the whole episode just really pays off there at the end of they can't be together because he's the captain and all this stuff, but they still have the music.
Yeah, but don't give up. Yeah.
And like he's not going to give it up, but every time he plays that flute, he's going to be thinking of her, and every time she plays music, she'll be thinking of him, and it's just like tragic. But sometimes love stories are beautiful even if they're tragic.
Yeah.
And like something like Past Lives, similar.
Oh yeah.
And
but she is going to put in the request for a transfer, isn't she? Didn't she say that?
Yeah.
Okay, so she could be back. Probably not.
Oh, she could be back, but the episode on its own, is amazing.
It's perfect. Yes.
And also, I want to talk about Inner Light a little bit, because obviously that's heavily referenced here.
Yeah.
And also, he tells her the whole story. Like, he just tells which I guess, based on this, the context, he hasn't really told anyone. Like, did he tell the crew when he wakes up?
I think he might have told Riker for a bit.
Yeah. But regardless, I mean, it would make sense he would tell the senior staff and, report in the log or whatever. But, like, obviously on a personal level, he doesn't, like, open up like this to somebody. And people have said comments about, similar to what you said, about like making the Inner Light better, or, oh, don't you understand now about the Inner Light, why it's, this beloved episode? No. I mean, not because of lessons. Like, I understand why it's a beloved episode for the episode that it is.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch this episode and go, oh, now I love Inner Light a whole bunch more. Like, the thing I already liked about the Inner Light is the impact it had on Picard. And like at the end of the Inner Light, when he's playing the flute in his quarters at the end, that's the part of the episode that already hit me. So this episode didn't strengthen, his son's performance being wooden, or the lack of, like the problems I had with that episode. You know what I mean? So it's like it didn't make me fall in love with the Inner Light anymore. But I obviously appreciate it being brought up here because it's relevant and because they're playing music. So I think it's fucking incredible that they linked it like that. What do you think about it?
I guess it just adds more, because a lot of times in Star Trek, horrible, grief-stricken thing happens. Never brought up again.
Yeah.
So I'm glad. I think it adds to it that they brought it up again, that it's not just completely forgotten.
Yeah.
And the flute has been seen in other episodes.
Yeah, Fistful of Data, I think he's playing it, yeah.
So, not that it makes it better, but the impact of what happened isn't just lost to the next week on Star Trek.
Yeah, 100%. No, 100%. And it ties together the kind of like DNA of the show, post Inner Light, pre Inner Light Picard.
Yeah.
Because he was there for fucking like 30 years. So he should be impacted by it 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I would even go as to say they probably didn't go far enough with that, still. But it was great to see it in lessons.
Yeah, and we joked about it after the Inner Light. Like, how are they going to bring this up? They can't bring it up this next week. Oh, we have to go to the moon of Chorus 4. Man, I miss my last week on the Inner Lights. I'm still grief stricken by what happened. It's like how do you bring?
We did joke about that when we were watching Time Zero, because that was right after it. We kept joking about that. Well, let me tell you something. For 30 years,
I was in a probe.
But yeah, so that's our top 10, and great season, excellent season.
Yeah, I guess we have to close the box on this season, and it's been tough. I think after we finished the last episode, we talked for a bit, or was it the discussion of the last episode where we just didn't want to let it go. But this is we gave our top 10. We discussed this is it. This is the big goodbye, the season 6, and I'm not ready for it.
Yeah, I still am holding out hope that season 7 is going to be, at least a fun time and a good send off. And when the show is over, next time we're here doing one of these, we'll do the top 10 or whatever for season 7. But we're gonna have to do our top for the whole show, whatever number we decide to do for that. Top 100, whatever we decide to do, and then just series retrospective. And I know we haven't been doing the season breaks recently, but when we finish TNG, there's going to be a break. So I'm just letting you know that right now. There's going to be a break for us to sit here and bask in our nostalgia / depression of finishing the series.
Yeah,
So,
that's going to be a sad day when that happens. So, yeah.
so stay tuned for that.